Okay, sweet. Let's get straight into it then. Welcome to my video walkthrough of God of War 3 Remastered. This is a video walkthrough for my final year project, Photons Edge, where I will be discussing different elements to do with this hack and slash game and comparing it to God of War 1, which unfortunately doesn't have a video walkthrough due to issues with creating a video walkthrough during a stream. It just doesn't work. So unfortunately I will try to compare them as best as I can in this video. So starting off here with the main UI for the main menu, compared to God of War 1, it's very much similar in terms of the structure. It's very consistent. However, in God of War 1, instead of it being flames in the background, now it's more natural, like some kind of storm in the background with tornadoes. Just much more cinematic compared to flames in the background, with very loud, intense music that playing. UI wise, it's a lot better. It pops out more to God of War 1, where in God of War 1 it would just be red text in front of flames. It could be difficult to read potentially, besides when selecting them in God of War 1 where it turned the text white. So here we have the new game button, load, options and treasures. The unique thing about God of War, at least God of War 1 to 3, it shows actually videos of the development process of making God of War, which is a potentially interesting feature that could be done in another walkthrough. That's still up for debate, but it could show me the flow of development that the devs decide to take. This is something that I wouldn't really talk over. It would be just a video showing this. However, it would definitely be interesting to look at. The options menu, it shows the controls, the way it works. We have the free camera, whether it can be inverted or not, flight controls, and then control display. Very straight to the point, clean. You know, the player just understands straight away what they're looking at and how the controls of the game work. So, now we are going to move on to the very first level. I will be playing through the level up until the first boss is finished, which is going to be the Poseidon boss fight. And once that is finished, because there is no actual levels in this game, it's just one continuous game, the boss fight will act as an end level for this video walkthrough. So, moving on to the new game, we are just going to get this started, and as shown,
my vengeance
we are already
ends now.
going to get a cinematic style start, and it instantly throws us into a cinematic, as previously with other hack and slash
forged in
games.
victory. A victory that ended the Great War and brought forth the reign of Mount Olympus.
So cinematic was
Born from the
fade
depths
to black,
of the underworld,
a slow camera pan
rooted in the river of
transitioning,
souls.
following one of the
Our
harpy
mountain
enemies
emerged out of the chaos. As it
with dialogue in the background
so too did the
explaining
might
it.
of the Olympians. We created a world of peace, a world of prosperity, a world that lives in the shadow and safety of my mountain. A mountain that has come to be the absolute measure of strength and power.
So instantly, with the cinematic, there's music in the background, help build up the tension over the dialogue from Zeus,
seeks to destroy all that I
about all about the current scenario of what's going on in the scene.
Brothers, put aside the petty grievances that have splintered us for so long. We will unite. We will stand
Unfortunately,
together.
this isn't a skippable cutscene, so I will not be able to skip it.
Olympus will
It
prevail.
will show you the full cinematic of how they actually set the tone in the scene of this very first segment.
Your son has returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus! The Titans will fail again!
Okay, so beginning with the pause screen, this will be the first element we talk about. So UI. God of War has a very interesting UI system for the pause menu, very unique the way it looks. It has the different power-up systems which you can upgrade using currency. So as shown here, we have the Blades of Athena at maximum, that's what we start off with, and currently locked items. Every time it switches buttons, there's a sound played. Potentially could be some kind of aspect that I might add into my game, but it's a feature that I may add. However, it's not something that's required. We can switch to different menus using R1 system. It's very user friendly and clear what's going on. We have the items menu, which is consistent with the other pause menu. Status, showing all the different stats of the game. Move lists. As previously discussed in the Devil May Cry video walkthrough, I am worried about the combo system and how am I going to implement that. I will have to look into those features and try to develop them myself using sequences and linking up animations and so on. So, moving on to the UI for the in-game. They use UI for tutorialization, shown combo meters, and we have the health bar system showing the different health and magic. Combat is very fast-paced and intense. For the camera, it's very far out compared to Devil May Cry 5, and it's more similar to Devil May Cry 1 in terms of it being in. It's also very similar to God of War 1 in terms of the UI, very much out and allows the player to actually rotate it, where in God of War 1 you actually couldn't rotate the camera. During combat, the game also has sound and music playing in the background just to build attention more.
Has me. I cannot move, Kratos.
The AI for these enemies is very fast paced, and when enemies decide to crowd the character, it's very hard for the player to actually deal with them if there's too many of them. So here, I'm just trying to take out the enemies. The game implements a grab system in Devil May Cry that was none, so you can grab the enemies and do certain moves. And with God of War, there's also quick time events. Quick time events are a unique way to make certain moments more dynamic and interesting, and it also can slow the pace down a bit with fast action. The environment is Gaia herself. Yeah, the environment is very unique compared to the traditional environment in the city. Here we have the very first side boss, I would say, where you fight one of the horses of Poseidon. Very unique enemy design with a very basic AI, but very well telegraphed, very easy to understand what this enemy actually wants to do, so the player can build it quite easily. As previously discussed, bosses are often unique and have a wide variety of movesets. Actually, there are different stages of the boss, or the side boss, right? The main phase, in-game cinematic, which then transitions to a different phase of the boss. The overall building up the boss by itself. As of right now, the layout of the level has been very linear in the very first few segments. Making sure that the vibrations of every hit that the character brings, that's something that I'm really looking to as a whole. Once again, the quick time events are very big buttons to initiate to the player what they're supposed to do. Quick time events run in cinematics and animations. And now that the side boss and the boss is dead, the in-game cinematic is displayed, leading the player to the next segment of the level. Now we have climbing. Climbing is a feature that I definitely would like to implement, if possible. It'll be very different to this. It'll be more traditional, like climbing up a ladder, likely. We have chests in this game where the player can interact with them to earn currency. We can also shimmy along the side of ledges. Just how small the traversals that the level. Once again, the developers use light sources and fire to tell the player where the stuff is going in terms of recording. We have different style of enemies like archers, providing that diverse combat system as the player can take multiple style of enemies. If I have time, I will attempt to implement at least 3 types of enemies. However, I will mainly be focusing on trying to just get one in that has a built-up AI system. And if possible, I will also try to implement some kind of boss right at the level, if possible. However, that is more of a polish. Moving on, we are going to continue climbing around, navigating the level. As seen, we are climbing along Mount Olympus, which is a very unique environment where traditionally in games or hack and slashes, it's usually in some kind of navigated town or busy streets where the player would just take out enemies. Throughout the gameplay, you can see a lot of cinematics focus for the player as to what's going on around them and where they might potentially be going. It shows the input button to interact for the player with the environment. Once again, cinematic use to introduce a new style of enemy. A quick time event to dodge certain moves. Gameplay is very smooth also, very easy for the animation to run really well and smoothly as the frame rate. Now, once again, cinematics used to navigate the player where they're supposed to be going with a unique environment. Very spacious environment in hack and slash games traditionally, as shown here. That is something I didn't cover previously. Hack and slashes often have big open areas where the player can actually play around in and take on a series of enemies. So that is one thing that I should consider. Here we have a basic checkpoint system, something that I do want to implement into my game if possible, so the player can actually get through the level, and even if they die they can actually continue on. Actually, that is gameplay. The level is very much linear. The player always knows where the player is going in the level. At least usually in the intro section of the game, it's very linear for the player just to relax of the game. once again, using cinematic style gameplay for Photons events could be an interesting feature if possible to implement. However, this is something I actually won't do. Making sure that taking into account the secondary threats are to avoiding the So now the music just completely stopped, iterating that there's a sense of safety and security now. There's not going to be as much action in this upcoming segment. Once again, using affording some lighting to navigate to the player as to where they are supposed to go, making sure that they use tutorialization to help the player navigate through the environment faster. Using a camera pan with a title, just briefly showing what the area's kind of about. Further using the cinematic style camera pan to initiate to the player what they are supposed to be doing. So here I'm going up this way, which is something the game didn't tell me. However, now I ended up finding a secret, so I can consider using secret pathways for secret items, just so the player has more to do in the level. Making sure that there's basic puzzle style environment pieces that the player can quickly interact with and get straight into progressing through the level. Using very bright and clear indicators of flashing light to tell the player that they can interact with it. Teaching more to the player about the grab system, which wasn't implemented in Devil May Cry, however is here for how to use it, and showing the effectiveness and how it can help in a way slow down the pacing. Now here we have combat on ledges and walls, which is something Devil May Cry don't do. Could be potentially something to consider, however likely only if there's time to implement such things.
Challenge me, mortal? A god of Olympus?
A true warrior does not hide beside it. Leave the sea and face me!
You have disrespected the gods for the last time, Kratos.
So now I will be facing up against Poseidon. Very unique boss fight design. And it's just the scale of the boss is massive compared to default enemies.
I will leave nothing of you in my wake.
Jump to my hand!
So here I'm gonna let Poseidon kill me so we can view the death main menu. So looking here, very unique style of attack, using effects and unique attacks to make the boss fight seem more interesting. Very much telegraphed. So here, a very simple "you are dead" screen. It's nothing like Devil May Cry 5 where it goes to being animated. However, this is a game that is a few years older than Devil May Cry 5, so the development of said death screens has developed way further now. That's shown here, it restarts from the last checkpoint. So as shown, very telegraphed attacks, so I was able to easily avoid them. Looking at here, another cinematic in the phase, the final phase of the fight. The game using traversal, button aspects into the final quick element. And now that the main boss is essentially dead now, the cinematic is played to kind of finish off the final fight sequence.
Zeus should have kept you where you belong. No matter how many gods fall, there will always be another to stand against you.
They will fall as well.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all.
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon.
Now finishing off this boss is just going to be a few quick time events to end the boss and ultimately playing the final cinematic. The game uses very unique camera angles to shift perspective to the boss instead showing the sheer brutality of the character, further empowering the player. So, I've shown here a final cinematic was played, initiating the death of the boss. Compared to the other games, God of War 3 doesn't actually include health bars on their bosses, which is a very unique UI design decision, allowing the player to wonder how weak the boss is. Keeps that tension there compared to actually seeing the health bar. The next video walkthrough will be on Ghost of Tsushima. That isn't as traditional of a hack and slash, it's more of an open world style hack and slash with RPG style elements. So I won't be covering all the aspects as deeply compared to what I've done with the past few videos. So in the next video we'll be mostly discussing potentially the environment and the level layout and maybe some UI elements with some gameplay, since my game is based on a samurai, so those elements will likely be discussed. And the very final video will be on Sekiro, which will follow a similar process to Ghost of Tsushima. So I would like to thank you for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next